First contact and deception. The stars had always held secrets, but humanity never expected the truth to arrive on a quiet Tuesday morning. The first signs came through radio telescopes worldwide, systematic patterns too precise to be natural phenomena. Within hours, the message was clear: we were not alone. The Meridian Alliance made their presence known with calculated precision. Their ships appeared simultaneously over every major city, sleek vessels that seemed to bend light itself. They came bearing gifts, medical knowledge, clean energy solutions, and promises of galactic brotherhood. Ambassador Lyra, their chief diplomat, spoke of unity and shared progress. Her silver-scaled features and luminescent eyes captured humanity's imagination, while her words promised a future of unprecedented prosperity. Earth's government scrambled to adjust to this new reality. The United Earth Council formed within weeks, led by Dr. Sarah Chen, a renowned diplomat and scientist. She approached the alliance with measured optimism, but something in Ambassador Lyra's perfectly crafted speeches made her uneasy. The promises seemed too good, the solutions too convenient. Dr. Chen's suspicions grew as she noticed subtle patterns. The Alliance's survey teams showed particular interest in Earth's oceans, especially the deepest trenches. Their questions about water purification technology seemed oddly specific. When she raised concerns in council meetings, she was dismissed. After all, who would question such generous benefactors? The truth began to emerge through an unlikely source. Marcus Reynolds, a junior hydrogeologist, discovered discrepancies in the Alliance's environmental impact reports. Their supposedly non-invasive surveys were affecting deep-sea pressure systems. Further investigation revealed microscopic probes collecting data on Earth's water composition. The Alliance's true nature revealed itself gradually. Their ships weren't just diplomatic vessels. They were advanced water extraction platforms. Earth's oceans contained trace elements vital to their civilization's survival. Their home systems had been stripped bare, and Earth represented not just another diplomatic contact, but salvation. Dr. Chen confronted Ambassador Lyra with the evidence. The ambassador's response chilled her to the bone. "Your species is young. You don't yet understand the necessities of galactic civilization. Some must sacrifice for the greater good." The mask of diplomacy slipped, revealing the cold calculation beneath. As news of the deception spread, humanity's response surprised both their would-be exploiters and themselves. Instead of panic, there was resolve. Rather than submission, innovation. The very oceans the Alliance coveted became humanity's first line of defense. Military leaders worldwide began coordinating in secret. Scientists shared data across borders. For the first time in history, humanity united not through fear, but through determination. They would not be another conquered world, another footnote in the Alliance's history of exploitation. The Alliance's first attempt at forceful extraction came at dawn. Their ships descended toward the Pacific, energy fields rippling. But humanity was ready. The oceans themselves seemed to resist, churning with newly developed nanite defenders. The first battle for Earth's future had begun, and humanity had no intention of making it their last. As the sun set on that first day of conflict, both sides realized a fundamental truth. Humanity would not go quietly. The Alliance had encountered many species in their long history, but never one that adapted so quickly, fought so fiercely, or united so completely in the face of threat. They had expected compliance and found defiance. They had sought easy conquest and found instead a war they never expected to fight. The stars watched as humanity took its first steps into a larger conflict, one that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of this young, supposedly primitive species. The deception was complete, but so was humanity's awakening. The real question was no longer whether Earth would fall, but what price the Alliance would pay for their miscalculation. The price of trust. In the months following the first attempted extraction, Earth transformed. Military bases became research centers. Universities turned into command headquarters. The old divisions of nation and ideology melted away in the face of a common threat. But the alliance wasn't idle. Ambassador Lyra's diplomatic mask had cracked, revealing the predator beneath. The Meridian Alliance's new approach was brutally direct. They established a blockade around Earth, cutting off access to the nascent colonies on Mars and the Moon. Their message was clear: surrender the oceans, or watch humanity's dream of space exploration die. Dr. Chen found herself leading Earth's Emergency Council, working alongside Marcus Reynolds, whose discovery had unveiled the Alliance's true intentions. Together, they coordinated a global response that would become legendary in the annals of human history. The Alliance's first strategic error became apparent when they attempted to disable Earth's satellite network. The supposedly primitive human telecommunications system proved remarkably resilient. Unknown to the Alliance, humans had been preparing for digital warfare for decades. Each disabled satellite activated backup systems, and for every communication channel blocked, 3 more emerged through previously hidden networks. Humanity's response to the blockade demonstrated their greatest strength: adaptation. When traditional supply lines to space colonies were cut, engineers developed electromagnetic mass drivers hidden in mountain ranges, launching supplies to Mars through gaps in the Alliance's patrol patterns. The very technology the Alliance had shared during their diplomatic overtures was reverse-engineered and improved upon. Underground facilities sprouted across the globe, connected by newly developed quantum communication networks. The oceans, far from being just a resource to defend, became humanity's greatest ally. Deep-sea installations housed research facilities where scientists worked tirelessly to understand and counter Alliance technology. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a marine biologist turned defense researcher, discovered that Earth's ocean water had unique properties the Alliance desperately needed. It wasn't just the water they wanted. It was the complex microscopic ecosystem within it. Without these microscopic organisms, the water was useless for their purposes. This discovery shifted the balance of power. Humanity now understood why the Alliance couldn't simply take the water by force. They needed Earth's biosphere intact. This knowledge became a weapon more powerful than any warship. The Alliance's frustration manifested in increasingly aggressive actions. They launched precision strikes against coastal research facilities, attempting to cripple humanity's scientific progress. Each attack was met with fierce resistance, not just from military forces, but from civilian defense systems that seemed to emerge from nowhere. Local communities developed early warning systems. Fishermen became scouts. Children learned to monitor atmospheric disturbances that preceded Alliance attacks. Every piece of Alliance technology captured or destroyed was studied, replicated, and improved upon. The price of the Alliance's betrayal was becoming clear. They had awakened not just a military response, but a complete societal transformation. Humanity's trust, once broken, had been replaced by a steely determination that surprised even their own leaders. As the conflict intensified, stories of human courage and ingenuity spread through the Alliance ranks. Some began to question the wisdom of their leaders' choices. Reports filtered back to their homeworlds of humans sacrificing themselves to protect not just military assets, but cultural heritage sites, wildlife preserves, and civilian populations. The Alliance had expected to find a divided, primitive species they could easily manipulate. Instead, they found themselves facing a unified force that grew stronger with each attack. The humans didn't just fight back. They learned, adapted, and evolved their tactics faster than the Alliance could respond. The closing days of the first year of conflict brought a harsh realization to the Alliance leadership. Their attempt to subjugate Earth had instead catalyzed the very developments they had feared. Humanity was advancing technologically at an unprecedented rate, driven by necessity and powered by a unity born of betrayal. Innovation under fire. The second year of conflict marked humanity's greatest technological revolution. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility known as the Challenger Deep Institute, Dr. Chen and her team made a discovery that would change the course of the war. They found a way to manipulate the quantum properties of water molecules, creating a shield that could repel the Alliance's energy weapons. Marcus Reynolds, now heading the Global Defense Initiative, worked with a team of quantum physicists to expand on this breakthrough. They developed what became known as the Hydro-Quantum Grid, a planetary defense system that used Earth's oceans as both shield and weapon. The Alliance's energy weapons, designed to penetrate traditional defenses, proved ineffective against water transformed at the quantum level. But humanity's innovations weren't limited to defense. Dr. Tanaka's research into marine microorganisms led to the development of biological computing, living computers that could process information faster than any silicon-based system. These biocomputers gave Earth's forces the ability to predict and counter Alliance tactics before they could be executed. The Alliance's response to these developments was swift and brutal. They launched a massive assault on Earth's major coastal cities, hoping to overwhelm the new defense systems through sheer force. What they encountered instead was a level of resistance that bordered on the impossible. Cities transformed into fortresses overnight. Skyscrapers became launch platforms for swarms of autonomous drones. Street systems reconfigured themselves using advanced AI traffic control, allowing rapid deployment of defense forces. Even the weather itself seemed to fight against the invaders, as human weather control systems created storms that disrupted Alliance targeting systems. Perhaps the most surprising development came from an unlikely source. A group of teenage hackers, led by 16-year-old Maya Chen, Dr. Chen's daughter, discovered a vulnerability in the Alliance's quantum communication network. Using principles derived from online gaming strategies, they developed viral algorithms that could infiltrate and disrupt Alliance command and control systems. The Alliance found themselves facing an enemy that turned their own technological superiority against them. Human engineers had studied the gifts given during the diplomatic phase and found ways to improve upon them that the Alliance had never considered. What had been meant as trinkets to pacify a primitive species became the foundation for weapons that surpassed their original designs. Underground resistance movements flourished, coordinated by a new type of leader, hybrid teams of military strategists, scientists, and civilian innovators. These groups developed guerrilla tactics that utilized Earth's unique environments in ways the Alliance couldn't counter. Desert warfare units used solar-powered stealth technology. Arctic bases harnessed geothermal energy to power shields that were invisible until the moment of impact. The Alliance's commanders began to realize a terrible truth. Every failed attack, every defeated squadron, provided humans with more data, more technology to study, more opportunities to advance. Their losses weren't just tactical defeats. They were unwittingly contributing to humanity's technological evolution. In orbit, the situation grew equally dire for the Alliance. Their blockade, once impenetrable, faced constant harassment from small, highly maneuverable Earth ships that seemed to appear from nowhere, strike with devastating precision, and vanish before retaliation was possible. These ghost ships, as Alliance crews called them, utilized principles of quantum entanglement that their scientists had deemed theoretically impossible. As the war entered its third year, the Alliance faced a species that had progressed technologically by centuries in a matter of months. Human innovation had turned Earth's greatest vulnerability, its oceans, into an impenetrable defense system. Their primitive communication networks had evolved into a quantum-based nervous system that spanned the globe. What had started as a simple resource extraction had become a nightmare of ever-evolving resistance. The final straw came when human scientists demonstrated their ability to replicate the very elements the Alliance sought from Earth's oceans. The message was clear. Humanity didn't just learn to defend itself. It had surpassed its would-be conquerors in the very technology they had tried to exploit. The turning point. The Alliance's high command received the report with stunned silence. Earth's defensive line had not only held but expanded. Humanity had pushed their forces back beyond Mars' orbit, and strange energy signatures suggested they were preparing for something bigger. What the Alliance didn't know was that Operation Starbreak was already in motion. Dr. Chen and the Global Defense Council had spent months preparing for this moment. The plan was audacious, a simultaneous offensive against every alliance position in the solar system. But the true genius lay in its psychological impact. Every defeat would be broadcast on frequencies the alliance couldn't block, using their own communication networks against them. Maya Chen's cyber warfare division had evolved from a group of teenage hackers into the most sophisticated information warfare unit in human history. They didn't just attack alliance systems, they transformed them into weapons of demoralization. Alliance crews watched helplessly as their own ship's AI systems began broadcasting footage of human victories, complete with tactical analyses showing how each battle was lost. The counteroffensive began during Earth's darkest hour. Literally, using their mastery of the planet's weather systems, human forces created an artificial eclipse, plunging the hemisphere facing the Alliance fleet into darkness. The enemy expected an attack under cover of darkness. What they got instead was a demonstration of humanity's new capabilities. Thousands of quantum-entangled drones emerged from the oceans, each carrying a fraction of the hydro-quantum grid's power. As they rose into orbit, they created a web of energy that trapped Alliance ships in a three-dimensional maze. The trapped ships found their advanced weapon systems useless against defenses based on principles their scientists were only beginning to understand. But the real surprise came from Mars. The colony that the Alliance had dismissed as a vulnerable outpost revealed itself to be humanity's ace in the hole. Deep beneath the red planet's surface, engineers had constructed massive electromagnetic accelerators. These devices didn't launch conventional weapons. They fired streams of quantum-locked water molecules, weaponizing the very resource the Alliance had come to steal. The Alliance's formation broke. Ships that had held position for months suddenly found themselves under attack from weapons they couldn't detect until impact. The humans had learned to mask their quantum signatures, making their attacks virtually invisible until the moment of contact. Admiral Lyra, who had replaced her sister Ambassador Lyra after the diplomatic failure, watched in horror as her fleet's supposedly impregnable defenses crumbled. The humans weren't just fighting back. They were systematically dismantling every tactical advantage the Alliance had relied upon. In the midst of the chaos, Dr. Chen delivered a message to the Alliance leadership. It wasn't a demand for surrender or a threat of annihilation. Instead, it was an offer to share the very technology they had developed to defend themselves. The message was clear. Humanity could destroy them, but chose to offer cooperation instead. The impact was immediate and dramatic. Already demoralized by constant defeats, many Alliance commanders saw this offer as their only honorable way out. Ships began standing down, their crews realizing that every moment they fought only increased humanity's technological advantage. The most remarkable aspect of the human offensive wasn't its military success, but its restraint. Despite having the power to destroy their enemies, human forces focused on disabling rather than destroying Alliance ships. Each captured vessel was treated as an opportunity to demonstrate humanity's commitment to minimizing loss of life. As the battle for the solar system reached its climax, the Alliance faced a species that had not only matched their military might, but had developed a strategic and ethical framework they couldn't comprehend. Humanity had turned a war of survival into a demonstration of their potential as a galactic civilization. Legacy of strength. The surrender of the Alliance fleet marked not the end, but a beginning. As ships landed in designated zones across Earth, humans and aliens faced each other not as enemies, but as members of a changing galaxy. The first meeting between Dr. Chen and Admiral Lyra took place in Singapore, a city that symbolized humanity's resilience, its quantum shields still humming softly in the background. What surprised the Alliance representatives most wasn't Earth's advanced technology, but how quickly humans moved from warfare to reconciliation. Within days of the surrender, human medical teams were treating injured Alliance crew members. Scientists from both sides began cautious but productive exchanges, with humans sharing their breakthroughs in quantum physics and biological computing. Maya Chen's cyber warfare team transformed their offensive algorithms into translation matrices, breaking down the last barriers to meaningful communication between species. The truth emerged: the Alliance's aggressive action had been driven by desperation. Their worlds were dying, their resources depleted by millennia of inefficient exploitation. In response, Dr. Tanaka presented her latest research, a method of revitalizing dead oceans using Earth's microscopic life forms. The same biological elements the Alliance had tried to steal could be used to save their worlds, but only through cooperation and sustainable practices. The hydro-quantum grid, humanity's greatest defensive achievement, was repurposed. Its network of quantum-entangled particles became the foundation for a new type of faster-than-light communication system. Worlds that had taken weeks to contact could now share information instantaneously. Marcus Reynolds led the creation of the Galactic Environmental Restoration Project, a joint human alliance initiative to repair damaged ecosystems across hundreds of worlds. Earth's oceans, once coveted as a resource to be exploited, became the template for planetary rehabilitation. But perhaps the most profound change came in the form of the Stellar Concordat, a new interstellar agreement that replaced the old alliance system. Unlike its predecessor, this agreement was built on principles of mutual benefit and technological exchange. Humanity's insistence on ethical constraints in technological development became a cornerstone of the new galactic order. Dr. Chen, speaking at the signing ceremony, summed up humanity's position. "We could have chosen vengeance, but we chose progress. We could have destroyed, but we chose to rebuild. Our strength lies not in our ability to wage war, but in our capacity to forge peace from conflict." The transformative impact of Earth's emergence onto the galactic stage rippled through alien civilizations. Species that had accepted the Alliance's dominance for millennia saw a new path forward. Earth became a symbol not just of resistance, but of renaissance. 10 years after the first Alliance ships appeared over Earth's cities, humanity had established itself as a fundamental part of galactic civilization. Their ships, powered by quantum drives that left no environmental damage, explored the furthest reaches of known space. Their diplomatic academies trained representatives from hundreds of species in the art of ethical negotiation and conflict resolution. The feared primitive species had become teachers, showing ancient civilizations how to rebuild their worlds without destroying others. The Alliance's greatest mistake, underestimating humanity, had led to the galaxy's greatest advance. As new ships rose from Earth's shipyards, bearing the insignia of the Stellar Concordat, they carried with them humanity's greatest lesson to the stars. True strength lies not in the power to take, but in the wisdom to share, the courage to trust, and the will to forge a better future from the crucible of conflict. The stars that had once watched humanity's desperate defense now witnessed their greatest achievement: the transformation of an entire galaxy from conflict to cooperation, from exploitation to restoration, from fear to hope. The species that had been judged too young to join galactic civilization had become its greatest champions, proving that sometimes the greatest power lies not in ancient knowledge, but in the ability to see the universe with new eyes.